All right, so we're gonna look at something from Cooler Master. Whatever it is, it's inside this box. This box has been shrink wrapped. I think it's got banding around it. It's got cardboard. It's got, well, whatever you can think of. I have never received a box so well packaged before. I hope I can get into it. All right, here we go. I've got my trusty knife and we're gonna cut this sucker open. I can't imagine how much time they spent on this just to wrap it up. I didn't have to go that far. It's only like one state over, but pretty excited. Pretty sure I know what it is. So let's get this off of here. Oh yeah, man, oh man. Get that out of there. Oh yeah, yeah. So it is going to be the Cooler Master Masterbox NR200. I've been really curious to see this thing up in person. Man, this one must have came like right from the factory or something. All right. Yeah. Over there. We'll play with the rest of the boys. Holy smokes, there's more. All right, that goes over there. Okay. Yeah, so it is the Masterbox NR200. What it says on the outside says big features, small size. So what it's supposed to be is like it's a Mini-ITX, right? So like it says here that it's a Mini-ITX motherboard, a Mini-DTX motherboard, and also that it max size of 244 by 226 millimeters on that. So it supports fans. Get this though, right? So you got to remember this is the box, so it's got to be smaller on the inside of that. It's supposedly able to do 7 fans. You can do water cooling, 3 slots for a video card. You can go, I believe it's supposed to be horizontal and vertical. But we will find out for sure because I'm going to cut this sucker all the way open. I don't want to get this thing out of here. Guess it doesn't want to come out. Very nice. All right, so you got the manual. I've already looked at the manual online, and it shows you everything how to do this thing. So yes, you can put water cooling in this quite a few different ways. Really surprised about that. Bag looks great. Keeps it all nice and safe. Everything looks good. Yeah, I like the white. It's not a matte white, and it's not like a shiny white. It's just white. If that makes any sense. I'm going to keep this out just in case. Probably don't need this anymore. But I think what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to go and grab my special duper, scooper duper twirly around thing that I have for my desk. I'll be right back. So there we go. See my little spinny thing here? Ooh, makes it fancy. Hey, right? What? Basically what they did, okay, is they took a mid-tower and just cut it in half. For the thing about it, a lot of the stuff in there was just wasted space anyway. Yes, you're going to have to use a smaller power supply. You're going to have to use an SFX power supply, which is kind of cool because you can put it in different positions as well. But you're going to have enough room to put definitely a good size air cooler in there, which I'm guessing would not be such a bad idea, since this thing has got air in, air in, air in, air in, air in, exhaust. I mean, it's all over the place. It's supposed to have, I think it's 5 different panels. There's nothing but air accessible, so you can have air coming in or out of it. I think probably what we're going to end up doing now is probably doing air cooling, because I want to see how it fits in there. I got some of my tools out just in case what we needed. I think 1, maybe 2 times we're going to need a tool. Supposedly this is supposed to be mostly toolless, so we're going to put that to the test. Plus my flashlight so I can kind of point stuff out to you guys and I can see what I'm doing. Ugh, okay, that's kind of crazy. So to take the side panels off, there's actually little indentions on the back side here, right there. Little itty bitty grooves. You just put your thumb right there, or your finger, and it actually just pops right off. So what it's got is it's got a lip here. It actually goes over the edge of the case, and then it's got two little slip joints that goes into the two holders right up on the top. Pretty nice. So it's quick and easy, right? Put it there, put it back in place. You're done. Take the side panels off. Just as easy. Really nice. The side is metal. You can also get, there's a version I believe that has tempered glass on this side. So if you're into that, you can also order that version as well. Now this is something that I really do like. Okay, so it does have a screen in it. And it's not a black screen. Look, it's a white screen. You can have a white screen, right? So I do like that it's white. So you don't have to have the black standing down. It does have, you know, a little magnetic side to it. So that's great as well. To keep that in place if you like, or if you don't, as you know, sometimes people just don't like it, you can take that out. So completely up to you. Nice though, this is pretty heavy duty. Yeah, I'll have to maybe get the calipers out and see what thickness that is, but that is at least like a 0.8 millimeter. At least that. Same thing with the other side here. If you want to take that off, pop, pop. Same side. I bet you this will probably fit on the other side. Maybe not. And it does. So that's cool. It's interchangeable. Just for whatever, gosh, no reasons why you'd want to do that. Or you just want to go, oh, which side's the right, which side's the left side? Huh. It doesn't really matter. So again, you can pop those off. It has, again, it has also a screen on that side of it. Pretty small, as you can see, right? Still got going on here. So what we got on the front side here is a bracket. This bracket is for fans. So you can put either a couple of fans on this side. You can actually put your radiator with fans on this side. Yeah, I know, right? I already get into the water cooling part of it. So it does have a couple of screws. So see how this comes out. Yeah, just me. And it comes right out. So you can, it's, again, this is probably going to be totally, completely up to you. So you can probably leave this out if you don't want to. If you want to just leave the side open, you can put a couple of fans on the side to either blow in, probably remove air out, or you can also put a radiator on here for your water cooling. My guess is, if you're real adventurous and you want to do a hard line, you could do that. Probably soft tubing would be a little easier for most people. Probably the most easiest thing would just be an AIO, right? So that's going to be probably, I'm guessing, most people's choices. So we've got that piece there. I guess this comes off the top as well. Oh, look at that, yep. Look at that, just as easy. This is made out of plastic, and it does have the mesh screen on the top of it. I like that it's offset with a gray, right? Really nice offsetting color to the white. Plenty of space for air to go through. Again, you get mounts here for your fans. We'll go over that a little bit later. How you can mount your fans on there. Looks like plenty of airflow though. Lightweight, and it's plastic, but you know what? It's really strong plastic. It's not thin plastic either. So in just a few minutes, we've already got this thing, geez, taken down to just to the bare bones almost. So at this point, since we've got everything torn apart, I think we'll just jump in to see what's inside of the box, right? I get to see it first. Oh, not exactly what I was expecting to be in the box, to tell you the truth. Fan. So you get one case fan. It's 120 millimeter. Looks like case fan. And it also has that style, what I was going to show you here, how you can install the fan into that. And of course it's got some fan headers. Screws and washers and grommets and some other stuff. We've got a bracket that goes somewhere around here. I think it's for a GPU mount. what it looks like for me. Got that. Ooh, got a guard. This is going to be a great idea because since everything is so tight and close, this is a great idea to actually have these in there so you don't get your fingers cut in the fans. I don't know how many times you've done that. I know I've done it more than once or twice, you know. I mean, what can I say? All right. So Cooler Master also included with the case, it's called the Sickle Flow. It's the 120, so that's 120 millimeter. It's got the fan guard on the front of it. So what we're talking about earlier was how to mount it in here, because you don't have to have any screws. So what they've got is these pins. There is a little beveled edge, and this goes into one of these rubber grommets that's inside of the top of the case. So when you install it, all you're basically doing is pushing this pin into this grommet. It's through the grommet and holds it in place. I mean, it holds it pretty good. So I don't think there's going to be a problem with that coming loose. Getting a lot of stuff on the disc here. Okay, so got a fan, comes already with a fan in the back. That looks like a 92 millimeter fan that's going to the back side of it. It is 92. Front of the case. Steel. Not plastic, steel. Listen to that. Everything else is just about a part on it, but there's one other thing that you can also just pop off, and I'm pretty sure that almost pops off. I think I would do to it. I think I would put a screw on the bottom of this to hold it in place. You know, I think I would do that too, just to be on the safe side. Let's see if there's there, and it comes right off. Again, heavy duty steel. That's really nice because, you know, the steel on the bottom and the sides actually will help with some of the rigidity when you put it back together of the case. So that really helps a lot. The cool thing about this as well is, look at the design on the bottom of it. Kind of matches something you might see here. So on the bottom, I kind of wish there would have been a white screen, but you know what? I'm glad that they put it on there if you want it or not. Another cool thing is that the feet. So this is the feet that they came up with, but I believe there's 4 different other versions that they were working on and said, well, you know what? We like all those versions, but these are the ones we picked. You can actually download the other versions that they made, and you can actually 3D print them off. Really cool. I think that's a great idea. So if you don't like these, you want to try one of the other ones, download them, print them, try it, see what you think. So we're getting a nice little pile of stuff over here. Hope I can remember how to put it back together. Okay, got that out of there. Oh, looks like got a little cable here for routing your cables. Little straps on there. So, because of the way you see that it's laid out, right? So back here you still put in your power supply plug off the wall, but it's got a cable that runs towards the front and goes to where the power supply is at. Power supply can either sit in this position, or it can also sit in the forward position. So there are 2 positions that I know of for right now that's where you can put them at. So you need to put it here or put it here, depending upon what you want to do on the inside of the case. My guess is, and I'm not real 100% positive, that if you put it towards the front, there might be some impedance with the graphics card on the bottom. So if you can keep it this way, then I think I'm going to do that as well. I am really, so far, totally impressed. And this thing is, it is strong. So it's a steel frame. It's a heavy steel frame. It actually feels like it might be even a little, if you can see it, each one of the corners, it's not prop riveted in. It's screwed in. So you could take this thing all the way apart and put it all the way back together. So if you're one of those like, oh, I want to take this, and get in there and get your hands in, or you're one of those guys that got hands about this big and you can't get into a small little case, you're going to be able to do it. So something we haven't talked about yet is storage. Where are you going to put all your storage at? I don't know, it's a small case. Actually, there's a lot of room in there. They did a really great job of this. So the first one would be, actually remember this is where you put your fans on it. Look at this, they have holes here so you can put a 3.5 drive on. That's pretty cool. Next one is, you've got your power supply cage, right? So what they did, you can see these holes up here. Remember the same process that they use for the fans? Well, you put a grommets in, then you take your drive, and you put these little posts in it to where the screws are supposed to be, little post, and then you can just take it and then put it in there. Boom. You can have an SSD or you can put a 3.5 there as well. But you're like, well, I don't want a hard drive hanging off the side. I don't want one on a power supply. Then, well, you know, you're just out of luck. Just kidding. No, they thought about it. So, all right, take off the front. Same principle. See, they've got the grommet right here. So you take the grommets that come with it, you put it into the holes. You can put up to 2 drives in the front. Again, same principle. Stick it up there, push it into place, and there you go. Wow. So theoretically, you could have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 plus your motherboard? 5? Jeez, man, that's more than enough storage. All right, so we're getting close to start putting something into this. I don't know if there's any much more I can really kind of point out about this. It does say, though, that it says for the radiator mounts, is that it says radiator support. Yes, I'm reading it. It says radiator support. It says on the left-hand side you can do a 120, a 140, a 240, and a 280. Not compatible with vertical GPU installations. Okay, so the left side, I'm guessing this is what they call the left side. Actually, it would be the right side for me, but if you're looking at the case from the front, it is the left side. So it says the left side, so that's with this piece here. So you can put a 120, a 140, a 240, or a 280. So yeah, if you're going to try and put a GPU into this position, it's not going to fit. It says on the rear side. So it says that it's got a 92 millimeter, says not compatible with vertical GPU installations. And then in the bottom, like we were talking about, right? So you can do this. And what's the cool thing about that is that you would take this, let's say these are the fans that you want, or you're going to put your radiator. So you would put it in this position, right? And you could mount everything here. And then you would take it and then you would actually put it into that position like that. Super easy. Don't have to do anything from the inside. So from the bottom position, though, you can put a 120 or a 240. It says it's recommended only for single slot water cooler GPUs or vertical mounted GPUs. Probably doing as much as basic as I think that some people probably would be. So might even end up with just the stock CPU cooler, because you've only got 155 millimeters. Okay. It sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. So you're going to have to think about that, because how far the motherboard stands off and then where your CPU is at. So 155 millimeters is going to take you like right out to the edge. So if you're going to think about using a big air cooler, keep that in mind. 155 millimeters is the biggest that you can do. Okay. Now if you're going to put it in the vertical position, you're going to put your GPU in the vertical position, you can just about cut that in half, okay, or less, because it says it can only be 76 millimeters. So that's why I think I'm going to go ahead and just use a smaller, maybe the stock cooler, because I'm thinking about putting the bracket in here and trying to do that. What you also can buy is, and I don't think it came with this one as well, is that you can get the automatic mount and stuff that does do a vertical GPU. So there's some options that you can buy. Like I said, you can do the tempered glass, or you can do the option where you can do the vertical GPUs. So you can put that in there. I think I've already got one of the cables, or a small cable, that I could probably do that with. We'll see. But I'm going to stick it in there anyway, even if I don't have it, the cable. We're going to put it in probably both positions so that you can see how it looks. Well, I got this thing scattered all over across my desk, so I guess the only thing left to do is to put it together. So let's take a few minutes and watch me put it together. I mean, I'd rather have you put it together and me watch you, but in this situation, it doesn't work out that way. Well, we got it together. You know, thanks for helping. Didn't go all the way yet, right? You can see it's still all over my desk. But hey, whoever doesn't have a desk like this, I don't know, you got to be doing something wrong, because mine's like this all the time, and I'm no, well, you know. But as you saw, putting it together, it's not too bad. You know, it's a tight fit. But you know what? With a little bit more time, a little more dedication to it, we could really get some really nice cable management out of this. Most of the stuff up here, I'm glad that they left a large gap up here, actually. I bet you they were thinking about it too, to run all the cabling stuff across the top. As you saw during the installation, we put the SSD in the front, and we put the cabling and all that stuff on the front side of this, so hide it so you don't see, no C. Woo. So no drive here, no drive anywhere else. This leaves us the option, if we want to, we can put a pump with a small reservoir and start doing some hard lines if we want to do that, or maybe add a mechanical drive into this space, or an SSD, or whatever we want to do with that. But overall, it actually fits pretty good. I was really quite surprised. As you can see, I do have a 270 in there, so it does fit pretty good. It's a little tight when you get to the end, right? So, I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. That's why I kind of say it depends on what you've got or what you want to do or how you're trying to do it, is where you also want to put the power supply. The power supply can go in this position, or it can go up in the same position up into here, just basically turning it 90 degrees. But that's going to block off your access to mounting the pump if you're going to be doing that. So there's a couple things you have to kind of think of. Again, like I said, with the stock setup, because we are going to go ahead and flip the video card over to the vertical position. I do not have a cable for this one right now, but I think I get one somewhere back there. But even though if I just flip it, you can kind of see the orientation of how everything's going to go. But even sitting in this way in the horizontal position, we don't have the bottom on yet, so you can see that there's plenty of airflow, right? So if we did pop on the bottom real quick here, make sure I put it on right, so we can go through this, and we pop on the bottom. See, really didn't make any difference because everything's on the bottom side of the frame. Definitely enough room to put the fans in there if you want to put a fan in there. I saw some people have been sticking fans in here, and it sits right on top of the. It does hold pretty good. Sits really, really, really close if you get it in there. So I don't know if I personally like that idea of having that fan blow directly into the video card like that, because it might be trying to overpower one or the other, you know, if one's going at different speeds and what's not. Now, if I'm going to turn the card vertical, which like I said, we'll show, that's what this extra bracket is for. So on the back side, right here, you take this piece out, and you can take this piece out, and there's already some screw holes right there, and so of course, it's already laid up here. So then all you've got to do is take this, and put it about right there, because it's got this little notch that you're going to see, and it goes into the spot, and then it holds it there, and then the card can go into this position. Of course, as you can see, it's only going to be for 2 slots. Look at the back side. No cables. You could probably run cables if you want. They'd have to be really thin, like these, but the whole idea is to try to maximize the airflow. So I think they did a great job laying it out, because where everything's at, like where I ran all the cables, so I ran all the cables right beside the power supply and the motherboard and the memory and across the top, is really not where all the airflow is going to be anyway. You're going to have all the air coming from the top, from the sides, out through the back, through the bottom, and out through the I/O port side. If you want, you can take fans, and you can stick your fans here, right? Boom, you can do that, which I think it's probably going to be a better idea. Really easy taking it in and out. Mount your fans, put it back into position, put your screws in, and you can plug them in. So I put the card in the vertical position. Before I show it to you, I'm going to tell you something that I like this much better, the way this is set up, for kind of a couple reasons, and I'll tell you why. So, there it is, right? So there we are in the vertical position. I do not have, the cable, the bracket that goes on there. My particular one doesn't have it. I guess there's a model that you can get it, but this is what they sent me. So, but I'm still representing it, showing how it sets up. I like this position better. Okay. Yes, you are going to have to use a smaller, definitely a smaller, as you can see right in through here, definitely a smaller CPU cooler. As you can see through here, not a lot of space. You're definitely going to have to use a smaller CPU cooler. Or, yes, water cooling. That's right. You can put your water block on there. It's going to be probably a little tough or a little tight for if you can do some hard lines, but I think off the CPU block, I would definitely go ahead and use just some 90-degree fittings. Just go ahead and use that. You can put it in any direction that you want. You're going to be much better off that way. Same thing, I think, with the GPU. If you want to put a water block on there, it's going to be positioned, I think, much better this way. Just my personal thoughts. The other thing is hey, well, I don't want to do all that. I want to do something that's a little easier. An AIO. Perfect, right? Because look at the way it's set up. Look at all the space that's underneath here. Okay. So you're going to have an AIO that goes on top of your CPU, which is probably going to be, maybe the thickness of a fan. So you're looking at 25, so you're probably looking at 30, 40 millimeters, which is way shorter than the space that you got. I mean, you're going to have extra after that. But look at all the space you have in the bottom, right? This is where it really makes it up. So let's say even if you don't want to do that, you can put fans in the bottom of it. But if you're going to put an AIO, so you have a fans and your radiator. So approximately think about it maybe twice the thickness, right? So we get two fans that are on top of each other. I can put that in there just to kind of represent and say, oh, look, see how much room and space there is? There's a lot of space in between here left. So you can put your AIO here with your radiator and your fans, hook it up here. You can run the cable in through the back side of it. I think it would look actually pretty sharp. And I think somewhere over here that I've got stashed, I've got a Cooler Master AIO that we can put into this thing. So I think in a while we'll do that. That's one of the other videos. But I wanted to show you what it looks like on the inside with all that stuff. Again, putting everything back together is like it says. It is literally just a snap, right? And everything is just snapped back together. You've got your filters that go on the sides. If I put it in right, right? I mean, everything just goes right back into place. This, I wouldn't put back in for where that is at, because you're trying to put fans on top of that. To me, I don't know. I wouldn't be a big fan of that. That's up to you, but you can set it to the side, use it for something else. We'll put this other side on, right? We've already got the bottom on. And literally, we are all back and ready to go. And there you go. It's all back together. Super quick, super easy. No tools to take it apart, put it back together again. Yeah, Hey, you haven't done that, right? Oh, no, yeah, I know. So I really like it. I was really kind of surprised of how it came out. Like everybody else has been saying, I think they actually did a great job on this. Totally surprised. There's been some other ones that I've worked with that said you could do this or that, and it just didn't work out that way. But definitely this does. It works out really well. It's so easy to take apart, put back together again. And at this point, I would highly recommend taking a look at the NR200 from Cooler Master, especially if you're going to be jumping into a smaller case. If you want to have a daily driver and stuff, man, no problems. Even if you want to say a mid-range or almost super fast kind of gaming machine, you could do that as well. But of course, if you want, top line, big as ever, blah, 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 all this stuff, you're going to have to go to probably a little taller case. I'd go to a mid-tower just to give you that extra space, because you're going to want to put all the cool water cooling and all the extra stuff. Bet you can't do that here, but it's going to be a little tight. But I think we're going to do that in another video. We'll show you, because like I said, I have an AIO from Cooler Master. We can do a review on that, and we're going to see if it's going to fit in this case and how it works. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it, and that you've kind of saw some insights on the NR200 from Cooler Master that impress you. I know I was impressed by some stuff, and I really appreciate you guys hanging around watching this. If you wouldn't mind, please subscribe and hit that like button.